Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing great. So here in this video, we're going to do the MCQ analysis on the important questions and the concepts of Marxism. So what Marxism is? What is a Marxism? It is called the materialistic philosophy as well. We have an idealistic philosophy that seeks to know the world, the universe, but the Marxism, they seeks to change it. It is a social, political and economic philosophy, right? What it does, it analyzes the impact of the ruling class on the laborers and this uneven distribution of wealth and privileges. This is the injustice, and the Marxism asks them to do the revolution. It stimulates them to protest. This is the way to get the justice, right? All we have nothing to lose but our chains, right? All right. So the very first concept here in the question is discuss is the ideology. So what is the ideology? Set of beliefs, set of belief, right? The idea on the basis of which we behave, right? On the basis uh, on the basis of which our economic and the political system is built, right? This is what ideology is. And who create this? The ruling class. The ruling class. Engels called it false consciousness. What Engels called it? False consciousness. And it is introduced in their work called the German ideology when in 1832, right? When in 1832, both of these duo of these two published one of the most critical work of Marxism. What is that? Communist. What is that? Communist Manifesto, 1848, right? Das Kapital, also also published by Marx. When? Write down the date in the comment section, right? We need to have to do the interaction. It has to be engaging. Only then we will be able to recall these dates, right? Only then you will be able to memorize them for a longer period of time. When you become part, when you will become part of the discussion. All right. So the question is, in which the following senses did Marx and Engels originally use the term ideology in German ideology? So answer I have already given you here. Something that mystifies the actual material conditions of society, a sort of false consciousness, right? A false consciousness, because this is not the reality. It is just the false narrative, which is built, constructed by whom? The ruling classes. Why? To justify their ways, the way they are doing things in the society, the way they are treating the labor classes. They want to justify their treatment, the way they are being treated, the way they are being paid. They want to justify it, right? This is how they are building the narrative. Example I give you of the Britishers. They came into India. What did they say? We are here to make you civilized. You guys are uncivilized. We know the modern language. We know the modern art. We know the modern education. And this is what we're going to give you. So they do not revolt against them, right? This is the way to muzzle the voices softly, silently. All right. Now, here we have the second question. Here we have these important terms, right? These terms are not only from the Marxism, this figure who has coined this term called the interpellation. Interpellation is called the social construction to internalize the ideology. This is the way to make you accept the ways of the world which are constructed by the ruling class. This is a social constructor. This is the social construction to internalize the ideology in its subjects. We will read this in detail. Womanism. a feminist term given by the Alice Walker. Alice Walker. We have the negritude. What is this? This is the anti colonial movement. Why did this movement begin? Right? What is the reason behind this? To make the black community, the people of Africa, embrace blackness, their blackness. Because they started to look down upon themselves. Because this is how the colonizers were behaving with them. They said, we are not good for anything. We are black. This is our culture. Right? These people are white. They are speaking the French uh, language with fluency. This is the modern language. And we don't know any of this. So they start demeaning themselves. They start looking down upon themselves. And they said, no, you have to accept, you have to embrace your own individuality, who you are, your black consciousness. You have to embrace it, right? You have to praise yourself for being you. Interpellation, I told you what interpellation is. And who has coined the interpretation is the Louis Althusser. Negritude by the M.A. Cesare. Then we have a Jürgen Habermas. He is the one who propounded the public sphere. Public sphere is a place, right? Location where people, the public, the private people, they gather to discuss the matter of the general interest, the social problems, the social problem, right? This is what happens in democracy, right? You come together, you cross check the false information which is being disseminated out there in the society. Social problems are being discussed, and which eventually influences what the political actions. You demand action on those problems, right? You're going to ask the politicians, your representative, who you have voted for. So I'm not going to pick here the exact answer. This is something you have to do. Write down the correct answer in the comment section below. Interaction is needed. Only then you will be able to get the juice out of these videos. Negritude. Here we have the detailed solution for them, right? We will decode them, and if you want to get access to this PDF, you will get this on our Telegram channel, My Professor Note UGC NET English, right? And you already know, some of you, if any one of you knew, that My Professor Note, me Bhupesh Sharma, I provide you classes, your exam oriented study material. This is all you have to study. Besides this, there is no need to study any other thing, because I'll be providing you the complete exam oriented content, right? So how may I get access to that? You simply have to contact on this given number, 9625101499, right? You can WhatsApp and call on this number, right? So let's move ahead. Negritude is a cultural and political movement that aims to promote the black consciousness in Africa and its diaspora. First used in 1930s, the movement was a reaction against what? European colonization of Africa. European colonization of Africa. Right. These were the French colonizers. And it's Franz Fanon. We have studied. He is the one, Franz Fanon. Right. Franz Fanon. Right. He's the one we studied, and who was interested in the psychology, who was interested into the psyche of the psychological impact of the colonization, right? What impact it creates on the mind of the colonized people, how they are traumatized because they have to be somebody else which they are not, right? Right now I'm speaking this language which is not my language, right? I might feel much more comfortable much more comfortable in speaking Hindi, right? But I have to speak it. This is for the sake of to work as a bridge. This language works as a bridge between the different states in India. We have the different languages, right? So it's a way to connect to all of you. The reason is here might be different, right? So this is again the one of the benefits of this language, right? That we can get to communicate, that we get to communicate with the entire nation at the same time. So we need that language. This is the demand of the hour, right? Otherwise, how will we communicate to those students who are from the northeast, south, right? This is the one language that we have through which we can communicate with them. Our goal, purpose, reason is different here, but when you simply to be something have to speak and look like somebody else, then it often traumatizes you, right? It creates pressure, and its legacy of cultural racism, the sum of the cultural values of the black world as they are expressed in the life, the institutions, the works of black men asked the black people to embrace their blackness, right? This is the main, this is the main purpose. Womanism, a term originating from the work of African American author Alice Walker. She died a few days back, right? She was 92 years of age. Uh, 1983 book In Search of Our Mother's Garden. In this work, she introduced this term, denoting a movement within feminism, denoting a what? A movement within feminism, primarily championed by the black feminists. Primarily championed by the black feminists. Because at the very beginning, if you see, the feminism was all about these white women. They were they were fighting for their rights, fighting for the rights of vote. And here these women are not even treated rightly at their home. And if we take the incidence of dowry in India, still prevalent in few areas. Okay. But I think internally, somewhere not in the mind of educated people, all the men who are educated, they know this thing very well that they are the one who want to earn it by themselves. They don't want anything like from the women's, from their wives' home, right? But still, it is mostly in the mind of elders maybe of your family, right, who are not who cannot relate themselves with the today's generation, right? Baby boomers born in early 90s. Walker coined the term womanist in the short story Coming Apart, 1979. So two terms she has coined, one is the womanism, another one is the womanist. Then come the interpellation, a social constructed process to make you internalize the ideology. What is the ideology? A set of beliefs, right? By following them, you behave in a certain way, right? A set of belief on which your political and the economic system is being built. Certain system of belief system concept introduced by the French Marxist philosopher Louis Althusser. He was a structuralist Marxist philosopher. So one of the example he has given now what it means the social constructed process. He says that our actions, human actions are not individually motivated. You don't do something because you are individually motivated to do it within yourself. No. This what influences you is the social structure which is built around you. For say there is example given of the police officer who is saying police saying, hey you will reply to it even though they have not said your name, They didn't call your name, but still you're going to respond to it, because this is the voice of authority, and this is somewhere in your mind that if you will not hear to that voice, you will be punished, right? Maybe expelled, ostracized from the society. They will they will put you behind the bars, and you respond to it, even though the voice may not be for you, but still you will look back or respond to them by yes sir, did you call me, or anything, right? So it says ideology is by the subject for the subject. We are the one who make it possible the moment we respond to this order, right? This is how interpolation work, not by your choice, but the way society is built. Dictionary meaning of an ideology or discourse. Dictionary meaning of this is what? Bring into being or give identity to individual or category, right? Bring into being. What we are bringing into being here, that ideology, the moment you respond, right, you adopt it. Public sphere, we already discussed. Individuals can come together to freely discuss and identify societal problems, and through that discussion, influence political action. These public debate take place mostly through mass media. So, what is this discussion? Obviously, it is a public debate, and how it takes place through mass media, right? The meetings, it can be a Google meeting or a meeting in your club, academic publication, government policy, a document. The term was originally coined by the German philosopher Jürgen Habermas in his work called The Structural Transformation of the Public Sphere 1962. Yesterday, I got really irritated because I recorded this video, and it took me around 1 hour. It was a 1 hour long video, and with my face on the side, right? I was recording this, but it didn't work well. There was some audio issue in this. The voice was cutting, and it was some sort of apparition, a ghost talking in the background. The voice wasn't clear there, and now I have to make this video one more time. But well, I hope it will be worthy. It will be completely worthy of my efforts. Defined the public sphere as made up of private people gathered together as a public and articulating the needs of society with the state. This is what your public sphere is. In Marxist criticism, the term interpellation defines. In Marxist criticism, the term interpellation defines. What is the interpellation? And this is something I have already told you that what interpretation is. Now you will be the one who will answer it. I will simply read these options, right? We have invested a good amount of time in understanding that what interpellation is. Now you have to answer it. The ways in which the ideological structure in social formation is constructed out of material practices. The ways in which the ideological structure in social formation is constructed out of material practices. Is this the right one? Or the ways in which the ideological structure in social formation is constructed out of discursive practices? What it says here, try to understand it. The ways in which ideological structure, our way of thinking, our belief system in social formation is constructed out of discursive practices. Is it true about interpellation, right? The ways in which the subjects of an ideology, means you and me, we are the subjects of ideology, a set of beliefs and idea created by the ruling class, are placed in false position. What is that false position? Representing them in a wrong way. They are not the way they are being represented, of knowledge regarding themselves. Or this one is true. Read them consciously, read them cautiously, and then Write the answer in the comment section. The ways in which the subjects of an ideology resist false positions of knowledge regarding others. The ways in which the subjects of an ideology resist false position of knowledge regarding others. Is it true? Right, we are sure this one is not. So now you are left with three and you have to choose the one. According to Stuart Hall, the concept of dash played a seminal role in a very crucial role it plays in cultural studies. Interpellation, no. Dispositive, dispositive. The meaning of the dispositive is having the control over the final conclusion. That's what it means, right? So dispositive is wrong. Society is wrong. Hegemony is here, right? So now what hegemony is? Hegemony is the authority over the other group, other group or other group or person or anyone. But how? By how? By using the ideology. By using the ideology, not by exerting the physical force, but by feeding you certain kind of idea that you yourself take part in your own exploitation and suppression. You don't raise your voice. You find that whatever is being done, it is done for our good sake. Example again of the Britishers. They drained us out of our wealth, our treasures, and they said that we will make you civilized. Hegemony means authority of one person over the other without applying any physical force, but rather using the ideological tools to persuade the subordinate class or group to participate in their own exploitation and suppression. Who coined this term? Cultural hegemony. Who coined the term of the cultural hegemony? Who coined this term? Right? It's only a month now. And if you have not learned that who has coined the cultural hegemony, means you are not preparing well then. So make sure you write down the name of the theorist who has coined the cultural hegemony. Ideology plays a crucial role in hegemony. The dominant group's ideas, beliefs, and values are propagated through institutions such as the schools. How this ideology is disseminated, the belief system of the ruling class, the way they want us to see the world, the way they want us to perceive this world. Their worldview should be accepted by us, the way they see the world, the way they want us to see the world. And how these ideas are penetrated in our mind through schools, media, religion, advertisement, family, shaping how people perceive and understand the world. And this is not confined just to these things, right? But today, anything that we are buying, the role of advertisement, there is also hegemony. They don't force you to buy a product, they simply create an image of you with that product. And then you see, if I don't have this product, I'll be incomplete. This ideological control helps to maintain the social order and status quo. This ideological control does what? Helps to maintain the social order and status quo. जिस तरह से चीजें चलती आ रही है चलने दो. Right? You not gonna revolt. Ideology आपको रोक के रखती है. It stops you from doing the revolution. And what Marxism says, that get up. If you want to have a classless society, if you want to have a cashless society, you have to revolt. Right? Get your sickle and hammer and cut them down, as it makes the dominance of the ruling group appear natural and inevitable. They just try to justify the way they are treating people, the way they are treating the lower class. Right. Today it is used in a very broader sense. It has not remained only to the labor class and the capitalist. Right. Today in this world of consumerism, right, the way the products are being sold to us, we can relate it to that scenario as well. Ideology and Ideological State Apparatus is an essay by Terry Eagleton, Karl Marx, Raymond Williams, or Louis Althusser. Right? He has written this essay. Now here I have given the work name of all of these. I have told you two of the name, the German ideology. The German ideology. Another one was what? The Communist Manifesto. And there's another work called the Das Kapital. Right? When it was published, write down in the comment section. Louis Althusser work Ideology and the Ideological State Apparatus 1970. Reading Capital in French 1965, in English 1970. For Marx 1965 on the reproduction of the capitalism. Its publication date was not important, hence I didn't mention here. Terry Eagleton's work After Theory, Literary Theory and Introduction 1983. Why Marx Was Right 2011. The Ideology of the Aesthetics 1990, Marxism and the Literary Criticism 1976, Criticism and Ideology 1976. Who among I have told you right that how you can get this PDF. Go on the no, go on the Telegram channel, open your Telegram app, they go to the search bar and they type my professor note UGC NET English. Right, this is what you have to type there, and our channel will appear, and from there you can join it and you will get access on the latest updates and this PDF as well. Who among the following says that ideology is a representation of the imaginary relationship of individuals? Who these individuals? We. What is our imaginary relationships? Those ideas and beliefs, right, which are prevalent in the society, who are penetrated in the society by the ruling class. How? By using the institutions, schools, family, religion, right? They are the one, they have the power. The curriculum, who is creating the who was creating the curriculum for the university? The British is. Whatever knowledge they wanted us to have, the way they want us to see the India, they have shown us. That's what the ideology is. A set of beliefs, the ideas that influences our behavior through their real conditions of existence, a representation of the imaginary relationship of individual to their. आपका imaginary relationship क्या है आपकी वास्तविकता से, to their real conditions of existence. ये ideology किसने दी है? ये explanation about ideology Herbert Marcus? No. Frederick James? No. Terry Gilton? No. Louis Althusser? Yes, he's the one. Right? Who among the following coined the phrase soft capitalism? So, what is soft capitalism? Earlier, there was the industrial capitalism. After World War II, there came late capitalism. And now, this is the era of the soft capitalism. Right? It also includes knowing having the soft skills. It also means the software, you can say. It is the social media economy. It is the era of social media economy. Back then, it was the industrial economy. And today, you must have said this, that none of the political parties have mentioned the climate change in their manifestos. Why? Because even today now, for our for the growth of our economy, we are relying upon the fossil fuels and what? High emission industries. And how can we talk about reducing the carbon footprint? So we are not discussing it. So then we are trading off the ecological sustainability for the economy. All right. So soft capitalism. This is the social media economy, right? This is what your soft capitalism is. And here we have the income inequalities. There's somebody working like 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and there's somebody making reels within a 2 or 4 hours, and they are earning in lakhs within these few hours, right? So this is what your soft capitalism is, and this term is coined by the Nigel Thrift. You just simply have to remember her name. We have no need to go in the depth of these newly introduced theorists or writers. Function of criticism. This is a work from the Criticism Now. How it get in here because of the name of the Terry Gilton, but it's okay. It's fine, because everything is important from examination perspective, right? By combining the different questions and different topics, we will be able to crack this exam. The Function of Criticism by the T.S. Eliot, right? T.S. Eliot, where he talk about the going beyond the inner voice, that the author, the writer, the poet should not be confined to their inner voice. They should contribute to the tradition. If they will remain only confined to their inner voice, then how they can expect from the critiques to go beyond their own biasness? They will all obviously be then, applying their own inner voice to analyze your work. That's why you have a harsh criticism about your works. You have to go beyond yourself. You have to contribute to the tradition, which is going from the Homer to Shakespeare. That's what T.S. Eliot says here. Said here. The function of criticism at the present time by the Matthew Arnold. Function of criticism from Spectator to Post-Structuralism 1984. This is by the Terry Eagleton. Function of English at the present time by the Richard Ohman. Now you will be the one to write the right option in the comment section below. Clear? This is here the detailed solution on the Matthew Arnold's work. So what he says, the critique needs to be free from two prejudices. One is history, another one is the personal. When a critique reports to viewing through the lenses of the past and neglects the present in the work, this is the historical prejudice. Personal prejudice, to a personal liking that can be judged. That can be judged. So you don't have to go with your own personal own personal own personal thought. You have to come out of yourself. You have to see things the way they are. And don't forget to read this important quote: disinterested endeavor to learn and propagate the best that is known and taught in the world. What he's talking about here, criticism. It is a disinterested endeavor. इसको पढ़ने में मजा नहीं आता है. Right? It is disinteresting. And thus to establish a current of fresh and true ideas. Three tasks for the critique. What are they? First task is the critique's duty to learn. For what? He must see things as they really are. To learn, what he has to do, see things that really they are. Right? Stop being partial. Don't be biased. See things the way they are. Don't judge. Second task is to hand on hand on this idea to others. To convert the world to make the best ideas prevail. These are three tasks. Late capitalism, I told you what late capitalism is. Accelerated technological development and the massive extension of intellectually qualified labor was first popularized by Terry Eagleton, Ernest Mendel, Raymond Williams, Stanley Fish. You have the right answer here. What is late capitalism? The term was used by the German economist Werner Sombart. Who coined this? Werner Sombart. In his work, The Modern Capitalism. But who made it more popular? Belgian Marxist. Who? Ernest Mendel published The Late Capitalism. What do you mean by late capitalism? Economic period that began after World War II and ended in the early 1970s. He warned about globalization, automation, and wage stagnation during this time. That's what late capitalism is, which came after the World War II, right? In this late capitalism, what is required? We need qualified laborers, IITs, IIM, best brains of the countries, of our country, or of any country are required here, not merely the labor. Which of the following statements best describes Terry Eagleton's view on the literature? Now, Terry Eagleton was a Marxist, right? Which one of these can be a Marxist view? You know what Marxism says. Like we discussed this at the very beginning, what Marxism is, right? There is this concept of the superstructure and the base. Superstructure is based on the this base. Your here comes your means of production, exchange, dissemination of the product, earning profits. All of this is going here. Your labor class come here, your tools come here, right? And on this economic base, your superstructure is based. Superstructure means your ideology, your culture, right? Because these ruling class who have the more money, they are the one who are defining your culture. They are the one who defining your tradition. They are the one who defining what should happen in the society because they have the power, right? And what Marxism say about literature? It says that the view, the perspective, and the writings of an author is confined to their socio-economic position. Okay? Whatever you write it according to your social and economic conditions. So social and economic position, right? So you have to give me here the right answer. I'm not going to tell you that which one is the right. Okay? It is involved in the reproduction of the dominant social order. It is a reason that they is to reflect social reality directly. Its main purpose is to reflect the social reality directly. Its primary purpose is to produce beauty and pleasure. It is closely allied to religion in its significance and seriousness. You have to tell me the one right answer here. Structure of feeling means our feelings have a structure, right? If you feel in certain way about something, over the period of time, your feeling will change, right? For the first time you meet a person, how do you feel then? And after a year, after 2 years, what do you feel then? So your feelings have a structure. They are built over the period of time. Lauren Berlant, cultural theory, cultural, cultural. Don't you be fan of my writing? Cultural theorist, Terry Eagleton. Is Terry Eagleton the one who coined this phrase? Raymond E. Williams? Yes, he's the one. Evakovsky Sedgwick, queer theorist. Now, Raymond Williams coined this term phrase here in the preface to film 1954 to discuss the relationship between the dramatic convention and written text. And then later on, he expand on this term in his work called the Long Revolution 1961. For, so what he does, Raymond Williams, he he understands the emotions, moods, and feelings as a historical and social phenomena. Structure feeling to facilitate a historical understanding of effective elements of consciousness and relationship. This is for what structure of filling is used. This is the purpose of it. What is the purpose? To facilitate a historical understanding of effective element of consciousness. Consciousness मतलब जिस तरीके से आप सोचते हैं, आपने अपने सोचने समझने की क्षमता, effective element of that and relationship, historical understanding of it, right? So this is what you have to keep in mind, that when this phrase was coined and who has coined this and what structure of feeling is. I have already told you. Need to understand emotions, moods, and atmosphere as historical and social phenomena has only become more acute in an era of social networking, ubiquitous media, and a public sphere permeated by commodities and advertisement culture. Right? Our feelings, the structure of feeling is changing. Right? We don't feel about things the same way we used to do. Cruel Optimism is a work by the Lauren Berlant, the cultural theorist. Another work is The Queen of America Goes to Washington City. Sedgwick, gender studies, queer theories. She was a scholar of these fields. She wrote a work called The Between Men, Analyze Male homosocial desire and English literature. In her work Between Men, ये याद रखना है. In 1991, she published Jane Austen and the Masturbating Girl, an article that received attention as a part of the American Cultural War. इसमें इतना deep मत जाना, बस ये याद रख लो, ये title important है. She received the criticism for this work because of the association of Jane Austen with sex. Two terms she has coined: homosocial and the anti-homophobic, and I'll be making a short on both of these terms. Who among the following played the most significant role in mobilizing the concept of culture intermediaries? Culture intermediaries who works between the product and the producer. Right? This is where the intermediaries came. Right? They what do they do? The product, the product and the customer and the consumer. Your customer. Right? Your customer. So this is what they do. If this is a product, they will build your they will build interest and taste for it in your mind, right? They will start making you realize that if you will not own this product, you will not be complete within yourself. iPhone, some of you might feel that if I don't have iPhone, that I'll not be complete without it, right? If I don't have that car, I will not be complete without it, so I need to have it. You can call them in general as a salesman, right? They are also called the taste makers. They are called the taste makers, right? What do? Locate a sense of identity with the product. You feel like that if I have iPhone, I'll be that person then, which I'm supposed to be. They link the consumer with the product by helping them to locate a sense of the sense of identity with the product. Cultural intermediaries. Intermediaries is very clear to you, right? Very clear to you, right? Cultural, right? Who works as a middleman, right? Between the product and the customer. If it is the film industry, the actor, the PR person, fans associated, members, or even the media person who interview or talk about the actor, they are the intermediaries. What they want to sell, a film, more tickets, box office hits is the main purpose, right? So today, with the advent of social media, everyone is an intermediary today. This concept is propounded by whom? Pierre Bourdieu. He's the one, right? So here we have completed these important questions. I hope you got to learn something, right? Here we have covered the important terms, important concepts which are important from exam perspective, right? So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and to enroll in our classes, study material, mock test series, contact us here on this number. Happy learning.